Good morning. Welcome to Mornings with the Focus. Joined this morning by Raymond Lyons, Wilson Turpin Jr. We got a lot to get through. You guys know how it goes. NBA playoffs is always first thing on the docket. Um, Last night, as we progress, gonna be not gonna have as many nights with 4 or 5 games as as we progress around and around. People get sent home, etc. So I think we already got our slandering of the Nets out the way for the most part this week. There's more teams that have joined them in Cancun with the other teams that did not make. I don't know. Did you go to Cancun if you didn't make the play-in?
Nah,
What's the
you
rules?
you went to like Boise, Idaho or something.
Okay. There's beaches in Boise, Idaho. Who knew? Non-playing teams knew. That's who knew. All right, so last night we had two teams, Ray, that led the respective series 3-1. Both of these teams have won titles, within the last 5-6 years. The Bucks more recently than the Warriors. That said, I think it was expected, almost foregone conclusions, Thanos type levels of inevitability that they were going to finish their respective jobs last night. They did just that. The Bucks routed the Bulls one last time to close their first round series 116 with a 116-100 win. Milwaukee focused almost all their attention on DeMar DeRozan, and he did not enjoy himself. With that attention, he had 11 points in 43 minutes. And it's not that he couldn't get a bunch of shots up. I mean, I don't know how one chooses to shoot with that many people, that many sets of eyes. Focused on him at that. He tried to make the right play, and the others on his team couldn't make Milwaukee pay, and Milwaukee just didn't care. There were many folks getting wide open shots, and Milwaukee was like, it's not DeMar, so we've seen that before. On the other end, Giannis did what he wanted with 33 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists, and a tidy 30 minutes. 5 players scored in double figures for the Bucks. The Bulls shot just 42% from the floor, and a wonderful 28 from deep, which they shot a ton of threes for a team that is not a great three-point shooting team. Up next, the Bucks will face the Celtics. It was reported this morning Chris Middleton's MCL injury he sustained earlier in the series with the Bulls will keep him out for the entirety of the second round. That should play a big factor into that series with the Celtics. So your thoughts on Bulls Bucks last night?
Yeah, not a surprise at all. I mean, the Bucks were the superior team. They showed it the entire series. Chicago's just too small, man. Like plain and simple. The Bucks were too big, too physical. Like you said, they keyed in on DeRozan. It's funny how we're seeing defense, play a major factor in these playoff series because a lot of talk has been about how skilled offensively these guys are. Well, got to show that skill, buddy, because teams are ramping up in the playoffs, man. They're keying on guys and they're taking away your biggest weapon. And like you said, man, they were living with it. If you guys aren't going to make us adjust, you're going to keep allowing us to swarm this dude, and y'all not going to make us pay. Why change up? And that was the story. They dominated them on the glass. And that was that. They were way more physical, got to the free throw line. I think Chicago shot 11 free throws as a team. Giannis made 11 free throws. So that should tell you, who was the aggressor in that situation. But yeah, man, things for defense has been the theme of the playoffs so far. Then when teams are getting things started on that end, and that's where they're playing their flag. So yeah, man, this next series it's going to be amazing. Now having Middleton is definitely going to make things very interesting. I'm interested to see how Milwaukee adjusts to that, especially seeing how well Boston played in the first round. It's going to be tough, and we saw their defensive strategy kind of limit possibly the best offensive player we have in this league right now. So they apply that same strategy to Giannis without having, Middleton there to kind of fill in the gap. Things get dicey, man. I can't wait to see it. But yeah, Milwaukee handled business. They did what they were supposed to do, and on to the next.
Yeah, the other thing you talk about going into the second round, one of the biggest differences between Milwaukee and Brooklyn, obviously, there's a difference between, their superstars, what have you. Milwaukee's a way bigger team than Brooklyn, and that's
Mhm.
something Boston's gonna have to deal with. They had a Drummond, but it was just one. You know, Giannis, Giannis is a freaking wrecking ball in his own right, right? Get downhill and whatnot, and it's a wrecking ball. It's an agile wrecking ball, mind you. I think one of the biggest things with the Bucks is having a healthy Brook Lopez.
Mhm.
That's stress. I don't think people remember Brook Lopez prior to this transformation late in his career. A whole bucket down on the low block. Nothing, just giving your favorite bigs whatever they wanted, however they wanted, and even when they didn't want it. Brook was given work, handing work out to all who to all who were down there with him. Then this man decided, okay, I'm a 3-point shooter now. And we've seen at times, if Giannis is out of games or times when folks need to step up, the luxury in today's age in the NBA, especially with how defenses are now, that you're allowed to play defense this year, we can throw the ball down to a post player that's used to being down there, where it's not foreign when they catch the ball, where they can turn and face or murder you. Even his brother, who doesn't have the vast offensive skill set that Brook has, he got a jump hook and is devastating with his one jump hook. Meanwhile, Brook got it. Brook got everything, man. Everything. However, again, Celtics look like they're ready. It's going to be fun. It is really going to be fun, and I definitely look forward to it. Moving on to the second series last night. Where are we at? Sorry about that. Oh yeah, this guy and his team. Those guys, familiar faces. Yeah, them. We saw him do this last night to Denver. Like, he's back. The Nuggets fell to the Warriors 102-98. They received another monster game from the Joker with 30 points, 19 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 blocks. I'm gonna let you know. 30 points, 19 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 blocks, which is pretty much almost what he averaged this series. And like, you could think I'm being facetious, but seriously, like, it was around those numbers. Look, man, they had 5 players scoring double figures. A lot of things were going right for Denver. However, there's gaps between your others and the guys that are supposed to be like your supporting cast for your stars. And then the others, they were missing that second level.
Mm-hmm.
And they did what they could. And I'm not saying Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. are healthy, then this automatically means that they beat the Warriors. I'm just saying, they were missing, their quote unquote nuclear weapons offensively to go with Jokic in a series where, you see the guy in the picture, man. We saw how that game ended last night. With that dude, you could just hit the big red button. They got a couple guys over there. You hit the big red button and just hope that things go well. That said, the Warriors, Denver had a lead for a good portion of the game, especially in the second half. They had a strong second and third quarter. The Warriors closed the game strong, outscoring Denver 32-20 in the final frame. Curry was huge down the stretch. He finished with 30 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Gary Payton II was huge in this game. In 26 minutes, he scored 15 points, including knocking down some key threes. He went 3 or 4 from deep. After coming off the bench most of the series, Steph started this game and logged 38 minutes. Safe to say the minute restriction is off. The Warriors will advance to face the winner of the Grizzlies-Wolves series, which you can have one of those young teams dealing with a team that has been here before. But your thoughts on, the other veteran team that took care of business last night in Golden State?
Yeah, that fourth quarter, man, that was that told the tale. The Nuggets fought, but yeah, man, like you said, it's that Warriors got championship pedigree, man. I know they got a lot of new parts, but that core that been through the fire is still there, and that means something. Yeah, man, but Steph, he showed why he's Steph, and Jokic, he had a great game, but it just wasn't enough. The other guys showed up as well, but yeah, man, the better team won, and that's just what it is, man. In the series that was 4-1, it's really not much to argue about. But you talked about the other guys, the Warriors, they still got their championship core, but their youngsters are coming along. Jordan Poole, man, like, it's just a luxury to have a guy like that that's seemingly not afraid of the moment, and he just comes in, does his job, and gets out of there. Gary Payton II, he stepped up huge. They have guys that have, even though they're young, they've been through things. Like Jordan Poole was down in the G League. Gary Payton II was down in the G League. Like those guys have had to fight to get to where they are, and they're hungry. So yeah, man, they're trying to stick around for a little bit, but execution wise for the Nuggets, like Boogie, he gave them big minutes. That was like a few games during this series. He almost turned the tide. Even last night, he was big, man. What was his line last night? Yeah,
If you look, go
19
ahead.
to 4. Yeah, 19 to 4, 15 minutes, 8 for 12.
Dude, I just remember like in the second half, he had a big stretch where it was Boogie keeping the Warriors at bay. Single-handedly for a stretch in there in the second half.
And I can't remember if it was game 3 or game 4, but he had another stretch like that, when they had Iguodala guarding him, and he said it was lunchtime. It was the game they won. So yeah, and he just went at him relentlessly until Golden State finally said, "Hey man, this isn't working in our favor." But yeah, it's huge to have a guy like that on your bench, man. And they should be in a good space going into next season, man. Especially getting those two guys back, Murray and Michael Porter Jr. Like I don't think this is a team that has to do a whole lot of adjusting and reshuffling. They're in a very good space. So yeah, man. It was a good series, but again, those two teams were where they were in the standings for a reason, and Golden State showed it.
For sure. Yeah, Paris Smith. We were talking about a Boogie. Game 4, he went on a 9-0 run. Talk about Boogie by himself. Yeah, the solo 9-0 run. Yeah, man. They're not in a bad place. If I was Denver, I am not gonna lie, I would probably try to retain the Mercurial Boogie, because although he's not what he once was, if you want to talk about, he feels like the perfect backup to Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
Because he can pass. Like offensively, they're effective on every level. Again, Boogie's not what he once was, but in a low block, he is still 6'11", 270 or 6'10", 260, whatever he may be. And he showed in this series, like he can still hit the 3 ball. It just feels like the perfect backup center where you don't have to change the stuff that you're running. Obviously, you're not going to ask him to play make as much as the Joker. That's what makes the Joker the Joker. However, the fact, you can pick and pop with them, you can dive, all that stuff. Yeah, he got that. And again, that's going to get somebody's back. But the other thing, for Golden State going forward, no disrespect to the young bigs in the Minnesota and can't think Minnesota Memphis series. I think it's fair to say neither one of them are going to give you the type of stress that Nikola Jokic does. It's just not. Like, no knock on Steven Adams, Jaren Jackson Jr., Karl Anthony Towns. No, and it's not disrespect in any way. You cannot possibly put the fear and the stress that Jokic put on. I know Draymond Green's happy. That's all I'm saying. I know Draymond Green and Kevon Looney are like, come on, regular centers. And can't no one tell me any different. This dude was bullying them. And we know what Draymond is as a defender, man. And, man, Jokic is just like, okay, cool. I'm just going to move my forearm through your face and hit this runner. Kevon Looney's a really good defender, bro. Frying Kevon Looney. But, again, man, it was fun watching, one of the best bigs in the league do what he does. And, for some of you who spent the year like, oh, I don't know if he's an MVP, he came into the series and the numbers he put up in the series compared to the numbers somebody else is putting up in their series against a team where their tallest center is like 6'8.5". I mean, I don't know. But shout to look, man, he's gonna get that max and it's gonna be beautiful. And people are gonna be like he's underpaid. I know he's gonna be one of the few dudes he signs that super max. I'll be like, y'all could have sprinkled like 20 mil more on it. Especially coming off a series like that. I mean, it's just me, man. I'm not sure, but yeah, Ray, you already know what it is. Did you? If you have nothing else NBA wise, oh, let me find out who's playing tonight. I'm so sorry. Before we transition, that is so rude of me. We got more games tonight. Obviously, we got Give me a second. Okay, we got 3 games tonight. Should be fun. We got game 6 in the series. They had no business going 6 games. Talking about you, Philadelphia. It's disgusting that you're in this place. What is even more disgusting is that you're on the verge of making history. If you don't wrap up this series, if you don't win tonight, you're going to a game 7. There's a lot of you over there that, struggle in game 7s. Your coach has had the greatest history in series in which he's been up, which he talked about a little bit yesterday. And then after that, we got game 6 of Phoenix, New Orleans. And, I'm trying to be nice about this. We got game 6 of Dallas, Utah, which I feel is the closeout game. But hey, you know what it is. Oh, man. So I guess what you think about tonight's game? Tonight's games, rather, right?
I think Philly's in trouble. I do not think they win this game on the road. That's tough, man. That is tough.
Oh, my bad. I got a question. Have you seen Precious Achua? What is in the water in Toronto? He didn't come to the league with that, right?
Right.
Like,
hey, man,
was the last game my man got somebody, hit him with the in and out, came down the lane and just finished. I was like, hey, hold on. You came in the league as like Kenneth Faried plus. What is this? What is this bag, sir?
Hey man, maybe he was saving it for the playoffs.
I want to know who's on Toronto's like player development staff. Y'all are some mad scientists.
Yeah, man. But Philly, they got to get it done, man. Like you said, it's no reason that they should be in this position. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they made of, because this is a high pressure game. You do not want to end up in a game 7. Plain and simple. So they got to close it out tonight, man. Like, because you don't want to leave it up to chance. Like, you lose tonight, game 7, anything can happen, and Toronto's gonna have all the momentum. Like, they're at that point, they're playing with house money. Like, they were down 3-0 and find themselves in a game 7. Like, yeah. So Philly, for your sake, I hope you get it done. Memphis and Minnesota, I can never call these games. Like, every game's been a toss up.
Mm-hmm.
Young
teams.
Young teams that neither one of them really know how to win yet.
No,
that's just what it is, man. So whoever gets the bounces, that's who's going to win the game, and that's a dangerous way to live in the playoffs, man. You gotta be able to seize control and kind of control your own destiny. So yeah, that's interesting. But Phoenix and New Orleans, they've been rumbling.
Yes, they have.
That's even with Devin Booker out, and this is no disrespect to the Pelicans, Phoenix shouldn't be in this position.
I agree with you, sir.
Yeah, like with Booker out, I think you got to involve DeAndre Ayton more. But hey, man, it is what it is. They are where they are, and they're making themselves do extra work for no reason. That's not my responsibility. I'm just here to watch and talk about it. So if that's the life they want to live, then that's on them. But it would be in their best interest to go ahead and get rid of them guys as soon as possible. And yeah, Dallas and Utah, I think this is the funeral. It needs to be, but hey, we'll see, man. But yeah, I've been enjoying the playoffs immensely. If this Philly thing goes the wrong way,
man, all I'm saying is, if y'all thought the Brooklyn slander was bad, look, they better not lose to Toronto. Man, Joel Embiid might have deactivated his account. Like, it's gonna get ugly out. Him, Harden, and even talking offline. That's the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to go outside.
Like,
yeah, man.
shout out to Michael Kirksey when we saw about the pressures of shooting. We forgot. Yeah, he was in Miami before. Yeah. So again, from player development, staff wise, from two of the best. You've been in two of the best places in the league. You went from Miami where Bam was there, and they're like, let's get another one. Let's add more to your stuff. And then you go to you literally went from two places where like, you're not a true big, huh? Let's make sure you can do some interesting things.
Right.
Yeah. From Smitty, did some video that you were working out with Fred and Pascal in the offseason on moves that starting the show. Yeah, dude, like I'm stuck off the in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Then like we've seen him at times this year knocking down threes off the dribble. I'm like, hold on. I just accepted that you can hit catch and shoot threes. Like,
exactly.
Hold on.
He skipped a level, man.
Yeah, like clearly I wasn't paying enough attention. I think it was one game even in the playoffs, man. He hit somebody, hit the three, left the follow through up like Kevin. I'm like, hey guy, pressures at you, chill. Like, chill out. Yeah, man, it's wild. Yeah, Kirksey, you're right. They're on one down there and up in Toronto. Like what they did with Pascal, what they've done with OG,
mm-hmm.
Scotty, and the worst part is Scotty came to him with the stuff they had to work on the other guys with. Scotty came with. I can only imagine what they do with Scott. Scotty gets to start at like the PhD level of their program. The other dudes had to start at the first level, man. And that's the other thing, Philly, man. They out here without a point guard. Scotty Barnes out here playing the one while they walking y'all down. Nothing but wings and fours. They don't have a five on the floor. Just threes and fours on the floor. And Gary Trent Jr., I guess you could be the one too. I don't know. All them place. Look, wings and fours. I got nothing. Everybody on the floor. OG, Scotty, Gary. You got Pascal out here. Like, I don't know, man. But Philly, you can't. I mean, you can, but let you know.
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't be here at all. Because even with Joel with the thumb, there was a certain somebody else they went and traded for that was supposed to, and you know what the Fran VanVleet injury kind of did? You took little Fred off the floor, man. It ain't nothing but elite, agile dudes that like to strap on the defensive end, man. So you out here switching from Gary to Scotty, back to OG. Here's Pascal. Here's Precious. Where's the...
Yeah, that's like that hell Trae Young was in.
Oh, man, they had him.
No relief.
They had him in jail, bro. He was out here. They switching. It's like, let me get PJ off. Here's Jimmy. Let me get Jimmy off. Here's Bam. Give me PJ back. No, I'm just playing. Let me get Jimmy. Let me out of here. Yeah, that's the hell Trae Young was in. He was right. Like, yeah, Kirksey, they got their hard side, yeah. Length is a real problem. Yes, it is. Especially when old man got the thumb injury too. Like, and he looked like he kind of tapped out in the last game.
Mm-hmm.
He's already ready to start driving vehicles over teammates. It's about to get fun. Heard that bus backing up at the end of that press conference last game. Like, I'll Philly lose with Fred out. Yeah, man, you gotta talk to them. I heard they had like a top 75 guard on their roster. I don't know. That's what I heard. I don't know where he's at right now, but I think Toronto's win today and really put the Sixers in a real issue box. Boy, if this series go back to
Philly has to win this game.
Yeah, I don't think, like I'm with Ray, if they don't win this one, it's a wrap. Because like they won last game, which was the game to get back home.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
like,
Philly got to close it out, man.
Yeah, Kirksey said 6'4" and higher, bro. Like that starting lineup when it's Scotty at the one, it's really like 6'6" and higher. Like they own some BS out there, man. Oh boy, that's where you at, Kirksey? All right, man. Bringing the heat from Wizards Outlook, no time. Man, they waste any time at all. All right, Ray. Look, you welcome to stay. We just talking NFL. It is what it is. It's on you. Justin, wherever you at, if you can hear us, about time, man. Go ahead, pop on here. Dorian talk about Philly wins by 10 today. I mean, we gonna see, man.
Hopefully, man.
Nah, man. Hey, look. Ain't no rules, man. You know, I didn't say it. You said it. I'm just gonna click the button. Laws. It's nothing like crazy, man. You know, that's all I got for you. But I'm not gonna tell you can't what you can and can't say, sir. You're grown. But yeah, as soon as Justin pops on, we're gonna get talking to this draft. But what's up, Ray? Like I said, you can stay, you can go. It's whatever.
Oh man, about to get some bacon cracking over here.
Oh man, come on, man. Don't be doing that, bro. Like I probably got like another 45 on here. You talk about bacon. Y'all see how people are, man. Like it's just so messed up, man. It's just so messed up. But all right, Ray, we appreciate you as always. And you know, for everybody here, we're gonna get to this NFL stuff, man. Right on schedule. So y'all already know, get your topics together. Justin and I got a couple things to get to, but y'all ain't shy. Go ahead, get in the chat, get the typing. Ray, you enjoy your breakfast, sir. That's
absolutely, man.
That's so messed up, man.
I had some extra for you, man.
Man, I appreciate you, bacon, man. I'm out here. You know what I've had so far this morning, man? I can't put the brand up. I had some milk this morning. That's what I had so far. Just some milk. Haven't had anything solid, man. I appreciate you, Ray. All right. Justin's gonna pop up in just a little bit, man. We'll have him up here. All right, we got Stingley to the Eagles already. Y'all talk about draft, ain't wasting no time. Yes, the first round of the draft is tonight. And what we'll do is probably like, I know what's it called? We got the first round tonight, second and third round tomorrow, whatever. Oh, what we got? What we got? And then day 3, what is Saturday? So we'll probably do we'll probably have a morning show on Saturday to talk about rounds 2 and 3 of the draft, most likely. And so give you guys a heads up, possibly keep that in mind going forward. So I'm gonna text Justin real quick, see what's going on with him. Where you guys want to start at? Oh, he said Stingley and Williams for the Eagles. Yeah. We know. We always know you want stuff, man. We know. You took it back. Oh, with that bottle. Oh, you talking about with the bottle? Hey, look, man, it is what it is, man. Look, Kirksey, I'm not a morning person. This whole being up this early, like, you understand, this is very early to me. What my man Pattinson said in the Batman, nocturnal creature, he meant it. I felt it. This whole 8:30 show thing, 9:30 show thing, getting up at 8:30 and prepping, kicking my butt, Kirksey. But yeah, hey, look, man, this is a quality item from convenience stores. That's exactly what it is. Y'all going live during the draft? I don't know, man. We'll see what's going on. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe not. I don't know. By the time we finish tonight, maybe I'll see what's going on. Not actually, no, probably not. Not going live during the draft. So save all your stuff, and we'll be here tomorrow morning. That's what I can ensure you. I want that ransom they offered us. If it is indeed a ransom that was actually offered, because reports are going everywhere, we will see. Man, me either. Look, man, it's a struggle, man. And again, appreciate y'all that get up and deal with us in the morning. Said I'd be shocked to be catching y'all time. I'd be shocked that I'd be catching us in time, and I'm supposed to be here. How about that? We got you back, Justin. I think I saw you pop up on here. So we'll give Justin a moment, and then we'll get him in here. But what I know he wanted to talk about today, I'm gonna break down some of the teams with multiple first round picks. So the best way to do that, let me go find where I had these pulled up. Oh, hold on. There we go. The teams with multiple first round picks. Let me share this real quick for you guys. Sorry for the abnormally loud mouse clicking. I can't do anything about that right now. I will try in the future. All right, so this is what we got in terms of the teams that got multiple first round picks. Where we at? I know the Giants do, right? Yeah, the Giants got 5 and 7. So, okay. Troy popped in here. What's going on, man? Appreciate you listening to you much better than me at the desk supposedly working. Man, appreciate you tuning in, and make sure you do enough work, man. Don't get got out here. Which prospect has the most potential in the first? Oh man, y'all out here. All right, Justin, what's going on? I think he's out here. Not sure. Man, out here got ladders up and stuff, man. I'll wait till he lets me know. All right. So, in terms of the teams that got multiple first round picks, I guess we're gonna start Where we want to start? Where do we want to start? We got the Giants. Yeah, we got the Giants at 3-7. Then we got the Jets at 4-10. So I want to talk with you guys with the Giants. I don't know what the heck they plan on it. All right, Kirk, so you said defense and offense if the Giants smart. All right. And you're talking about defensive offense. Where do you think, they should focus at on both sides of the ball, considering, we're going to get to Philly, Dorian. For the love of God, we're going to get to Philly. We know they got 2 first-rounders. Start with the people that picked before them. This guy really got on here just to troll about Philly. I appreciate you, though. I appreciate it. You've been consistent. You hear Justin or not yet? Because I can't hear anything yet on your end. Can't hear anything at all, sir. Nothing? You can hear me, but I can't hear you, pretty much. Yeah, nope, can't hear you. You might have to leave back out and come back in. Yep, I figured that's what you do. All right, so where we at? Oh, yeah, we said Giants. Kirksey was saying defense and offensive, they're smart. What would you like them to look at, though? You said defense. You talk about D-line. Okay. What about offense? All right, Justin, I can hear you this time.
All right. Sorry about that.
It's all good, man. I know you're busy. So we're talking about the teams that got multiple first-round picks. We start with the Giants. Kirksey said they should look at defensive. They should look in the trenches, both defensive line and offensive line. Troy says this is like the 5th year in a row where I think the Giants needs O-line help and the QB. Maybe no more Gettleman is good. Hey, look, man, I don't know what the next regime is going to do, but you know where the bar is. It is down there in terms of what they've done so far. So going forward, like just being functional would seem like a great improvement, right? I said, got to fix the trenches. Indeed, you do. Dorian's about picking up Thibodeau. I don't know if he's there. If he's still there for them, by all means, go get you. But they got what they get? Ojulari from Georgia last year, right? Off the edge. So do you think they would double up? I mean, it can't hurt, obviously. But yeah, they would have a chance to possibly double up, which is a good thing. And then secondly, all right, so offensive line, what would y'all like up there? You think they should go Ike Okonwu? I can't ever say his name right, but they can go Ike, they can go Charles Cross. Depending on how people are acting around him, you could take Evan Neal. So that's something that's definitely possible. That's something that is definitely possible.
The thing with the Giants is I heard actually that I guess they had been working out. They worked Charles Cross out at right tackle to see if he could make the transition.
Okay.
But I guess maybe that's assuming that Neal's gone or that Aquanu's gone. Because I'm pretty sure it sounds like they want to keep Andrew Thomas at left tackle.
Okay.
So strengthening that line for, it sounds like Dable believes in or is trying to sound like he believes in Daniel Jones.
Hey, man, maybe he really does. All right, so that's Giants. I think general consensus in here is you guys feel they should go to focus on the trenches, whether it's offensive or defensive linemen, pretty much BPA, right, guys? I feel like that's a general consensus. Okay, we got a couple folks that are like Conwu and Neal or Tibbs and Neal. If either way, like that's not bad. If they double up O-line, what we can't say is they don't need it. That's what we do know for sure. All right, so next up that has 2 picks, we got the Jets at 4-10. Justin, I'm gonna let you start that off, and I will return. Give me like 2 minutes, and I'll be right back.
All right. Well, the Jets at 4-10. The Jets have probably would look at either end or receiver. I know receiver's been a big focus since they tried to trade for Tyreek Hill and tried to trade for, or still trying to trade for Debo. But the receiver is something they could be interested in. But I think for them, you could probably wait till 10, and at 4, you just take the best player available, whether it's a defensive end or Jermaine Johnson, Thibodeau, that type of player. So, or maybe offensive line, but there's also talk of Becton, them not being too happy with Mekhi Becton also. So they got a lot of options there. But it sounds like the the coach is big on the defensive line and the general manager is high on offensive line, so it's probably be a fight over that. And maybe it'll probably end up being out of Jermaine Johnson and Thibodeau if the if the Thibodeau character concerns are real, which they're probably not. But if some teams are down on him because he doesn't love football as much as they want him to, that could lead to Jermaine Johnson being the pick. And if anyone else has any suggestions, definitely let us know. Let's see. And then I think the Jets aren't that far away actually on the roster. They signed a lot of free agents. They signed some guards. They signed some players on defense. They just the AFC is a tough conference to try to win with everyone so much improved. So for the Jets, it just keeps getting better. Well, I was just saying that maybe between Jermaine Johnson and if they believe in Thibodeau might be the place to go right there.
Oh yeah. Look, man, I'm gonna be real honest. I like Thibodeau, but again, just know where Saleh comes from. Coming from the Bay, coming from San Fran, coming from Seattle. I think honestly, I'm interested in seeing who they take. I feel like if Thibodeau is there, they might take Thibodeau. If Thibodeau is gone, it's Jermaine Johnson. I think that wholeheartedly. If they're both available, that's when I might have a little bit of pause because I'm honestly not sure. Because I think for a lot of people, they don't expect Thibodeau to be available at 4. Because ideally, what you were talking about yesterday, is Houston's taking whatever the best quote unquote blue chip prospect is left at 3. So technically that player shouldn't get to 4, right? Ideally. And then if you're the Jets, I don't know. They could take Evan Neal for all I know. But we can see because there's stuff coming out about how they feel about Mekhi Becton and stuff of that nature. So they could go Evan Neal. I have no idea what the Jets are going to do. And that's again, we're going to get to talking about this top 10 a little later. Like, bro, you can't trust any of these teams at this moment in terms of what they're going to do. Just don't know. We had a couple comments. We had Troy talk about Denzel Mims got to show something. Man, I don't know what's going on with him, and some of it might be where he landed. Don't know if he's just maybe not a fit for this level, or is it not being utilized correctly, or doing something incorrectly behind the scenes? Who knows? You got Dorian talking about Thibodeau and some of the noise around him. Teams don't like Tibbs because he plays Call of Duty, has a podcast, which is dumb. If they don't like him because of the podcast, it's crazy because Agent Hutchinson has a podcast. And, people think it's the greatest thing in the world. So I feel like a lot of the noise is, I think folks should keep in mind with some of this noise, like how the media feel isn't always directly how teams feel. And sometimes, depending on who your sources aren't the decision makers. So, honestly, depending on who the sources are, where the noise is coming from, it doesn't mean jack. If it's somebody lower on the totem pole and they're like, oh, I don't like them, and they're your source, and all this other stuff, it's irrelevant, man. You're not making a decision. But we shall see. I guess you're talking about Mims, or okay, you talk about Denzel Mims. Dorian was like, this new regime doesn't like him. Interesting. They said in training camp last year he wasn't grasping the playbook and had focus issues. Huh. Huh. Appreciate you clarifying. All right, so what we just talked about the Jets, what they could do at 4 at 10. I think they're also what they could do at 10. They could also be a dark horse for Stingley. I think they're going defense, but you can't rule out the possibility if they go Evan Neal. If they go Evan Neal at 4, you take the best pass rusher available at 10. Which, if they're already cool with Jermaine Johnson, he should be there at 10 for them, right? Technically, so that should work ideally.
I feel like all the teams are kind of with the double picks are kind of be playing chicken, with the offensive tackle, defensive end situation. It's kind of funny. It's like if we take him here, what's there? What's at 10? Or the Giants have it at 5 and 7, but the Jets are before them at 4. That I think that's just going to be something to watch because it could shape the draft.
Oh, for sure. And then another team, again, we skipped over Houston. They got 3 and 13. So they got an opportunity at 3 to take whatever 1 and 2 don't take You just take the best available and you figure it out. You got so many holes, it does not matter. It's just about getting quality talent in that building. And even when you slide down to 13, like, honestly, with Houston, I feel it's the same thing. Whatever the best thing available is, when you pick, we have both of your picks in the first round, you take it. You know, you just go about your business. All right. Dorian said Houston's taking Sauce at 3 and O-line. I mean, they could definitely take Sauce at 3. And that's the thing, like, Houston has the luxury of completely throwing the top 10 out of whack, depending on what they do. They can mess things up for 3 teams after them, depending on what they do. We have no idea what they do. Well, actually, I think them and the Lions. And then other bit of news I wanted to share today. Jesse, you remember we were talking about, maybe the Jags might go, left tackle or something like that at the top. Well, this happened yesterday. I guess I didn't catch it. The update: the Jags had previously franchise tagged Cam Robinson, right? Well, yesterday they took the tag off. They agreed to an extension. He has a 3-year deal worth $54 million. That's your left tackle.
That might change some things.
Yeah, that's your left tackle. That's your left tackle, which means, it's probably one of the pass rushers at 1. We're talking about, is it Trayvon? Is it Trayvon, Kayvon, or Adrian? Because, again, all you're doing, if you're the Jags, you find the most talented prospects you can to line up opposite Josh Allen and let those two grow old together. If you can. Troy says somebody's going to take a nice look at Booth Jr. and the teams. Houston might be it. That's true. And again, like with Houston, like, because that's the weird thing with them, right? They're not like super trash. They just lack top-end talent. So if you're able to if you can identify the right guys, you might be okay. In terms of like getting quality talent in, you should just be better from that perspective. But yeah, you're right. Booth Jr., I know Justin likes him, is definitely somebody that you can take a look at in the teams. All right, I guess we're gonna go ahead and get the Dorian's team before he tries to break the stream or whatever. We got Philly picking at 15 and 18. What you got them doing, Justin?
Philly seems like their need will be receivers. They're another team that was trying to make a trade. They were trying to trade for Ridley, I believe, before the Ridley stuff happened. So receiver would be a need for them, even though you've kind of missed on it. Missed on it 1 year and then hit on it 1 year. You kind of receivers in need, secondaries in need, and would they try to grab someone to replace Fletcher Cox since he has 1 year left, or is it too early for that? I think that's Philly's in a good spot because they're not a bad team, but again, they can always use someone opposite Slay could help. So they're basically, for them, it's kind of just going best player available. Besides, they probably don't have to touch offensive line, so probably. I'd probably look receiver and DB if I was between their 2 picks.
Right. We had a comment from Troy who was saying Lovie Smith got to get a dog in that cornerback room, but Justin made a good point. It's hard to make noise in the AFC. Yeah, it's going to be tough to crack just to get air in the AFC. Dorian said Philly is trading to 6 if a DB falls. I mean, we'll see, man. Again, they're in one of those positions. Oh my God, Philly. Troy, the NFC East pettiness. Philly needs a QB. Got a QB with a Make-A-Wish arm. I'll see myself out. See, there you go. Man, out here with Maga Heineke out here and going on Hurts. That's tough, but divisional pettiness. I can't knock it. All right, but yeah, with Philly, I'm with you, Justin. I think you go BPA. And the luxury of having a good offensive line, and technically you don't have to draft a quarterback, is a luxury. And Justin and I's kind of philosophy on this with the quarterback thing, I say you fill out the rest of the roster, get everything where you can make it a process elimination. Get the rest of the roster to a point where you feel great about it. If the quarterback can't elevate himself as you elevate things around him, then hey, look, it's you, and then you take all your assets, you go get you a guy. But as of right now, man, go fix that wide receiving core.
Right. No, I agree.
Go fix that wide receiving core.
We always say, me and Ray always say, hope isn't a plan. You know, you can't keep throwing these quarterbacks. If you don't like the guy, why do you keep grabbing different quarterbacks? You know, Jalen Hurts has proven he's solid. You know, so why not give him some more parts to actually see what he can do? You know, I can think of games that they lost because of Rager drop passes or different things with the receivers not getting open. And Hurts has to improve, but there's no one out there in this draft that is definitely better than Hurts, and at least not going to be better than him this year.
Go make life easy for your quarterback. I don't care who it is. Go make life easier. Like I am old enough to remember. Y'all remember the Josh Allen conversation before Stephon Diggs hit that roster? Yeah, I do. It wasn't a pleasant conversation. And then now all of a sudden, man, he's the greatest thing in the world. Man, he's top 5 in the league, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, man. Dorian, we agree he has a lot to work on. But again, go get the kid weapons. Let's go get him weapons.
Also, the Eagles have 2 picks next year. They traded for an extra 1 next year. So in a draft that's supposed to have quarterbacks. So
you got ammo to go up if you need to.
Right.
You got ammo if you need to, but we'll definitely see what they end up doing. Let's talk about another team in the first round. I got 2 picks, and I guess that would be the Saints. They got 16 and 19, one of which they acquired from Philadelphia. They came up here for something. I think one of the things they came up here for is tackle no matter what. Is getting a left tackle pretty much no matter what. Whoever that may be, I don't know what's going to be there for them at 16. And then after that, I think it's wide receiver. Because I don't think they need to touch anything on that defense. That defense almost took a wide receiver under center to the playoffs last year. So, yeah, go get Jameis some weapons. Troy said, I agree, get all the pieces around Hurts, go get a real QB next year. But, yeah, just run that fluky offense for another year. Just don't draft the wide receiver going to get someone hurt with them hospital balls. Man, y'all got time this morning. I respect it. All right, with the Saints, Justin, what you think? At least that's where I'm at. I think it's the first pick is left tackle, no matter what. And then wide receiver is the second pick. And again, they're picking at 16 and 19. Troy says, I'm stuck on Olave. Do you like him in New Orleans?
I don't love Olave, but he's a good fit for them because he can put him outside, and he's kind of can be the 1/2 with Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas wins inside, so Olave won't get the attention. The defenses are going to focus more on Michael Thomas, which allows him to kind of just do what he does best, which is try to win the one-on-one matchups. He's not really a run-after-catch guy, but he's probably maybe one of the best route runners in the class. And he's a polished wide receiver, which is what they need. So he fit in well with them. And again, like you said, the left tackle was another spot that they have to replace Armstead. And at that 16 spot, it's kind of tough because the first 3 are going to come off so fast. You're going to lose those first 3 tackles.
Or they should come off fast. They should.
Right. They should.
They should.
Top 10, I'd imagine. But if some of that the talk of Neal's having some injury or some of that stuff that always happens right before the draft,
dude, and
he starts to slide to around 11 or 12, maybe they consider moving up then, to try to get, because now you're getting a franchise tackle without having to pay the ridiculous price to go to top 5. So that's something you would think about, because offensively they still need a receiver regardless, but they didn't have Michael Thomas last year, and they had Jameis seemed to have a good relationship with what's the receiver from Tennessee. I want to say Callaway, but I could be wrong.
I think you're right.
And they had a pretty good connection. But adding a lot, they would definitely complete the offense. And then having that tackle, that would be a great way for them to come off of this draft. I would hate to see them try to reach for a quarterback here, because the rest of that team's so close to winning.
Yep.
They brought back all the same coaches except for the head coach, but they gave the job to a coordinator, and they still have the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator there. So I think they feel like they can win, and they probably feel like they own Tampa Bay anyway. The last 2 years they've beaten them 4 times. So I think for them it's just feeling like they're going to finish the roster off and replace what they had, and go from there. So I think receiver and tight end would definitely be things to look at.
All right. So another team that has 2 picks, we got Green Bay at 22 and 28. Before that, Troy says I like Jameis a lot, but also feels like New Orleans doesn't love him back. Going to mess around and take Pickett. If they do that, that's on them, and I wish them the best. Like, look, I'm gonna mind my business, and that's on them, man. I'm gonna leave that all alone. That to me, that's crazy to come up here and do that, but hey, they said wide receiver. Kirksey saying for Green Bay, given they pick at 22 and 28. You agree with that, Justin? They going wide receiver? That's what they need to do at that moment.
I don't think they go wide receiver twice. But I think they have they got 2 second-round picks also. So they have their pick and the Raiders pick from the Devontae Adams trade. So I can see them going receiver at one of these picks and the receiver at one of the second-round picks. And because it's going to take a certain kind of player to play with Aaron Rodgers anyway. And then I think receivers are going to run funny in this draft. So there might be a run at some point where you're going to end up having to reach really high for that, for one of those picks to take the receiver. And I don't think they want to do that. So I think at 22 or 29, if maybe they might have to take a Pickens or a Burks. If Burks slides for the reason that the reason that people are saying, if Burks is there at 22, maybe they take Burks, or maybe they grab Pickens at 22 or 29. And I mean, at that chance, you're still getting what if you get Pickens at 29, that's a win because he's not the 29th best player in this draft. So, I think that, and then maybe they look in the second round for like an Alec Pierce. Since
to compliment him. Yeah,
he gets a lot of those. He gets a Jordy Nelson comp from a lot of people. So, he loves Jordy Nelson. So maybe that's something they look at. Maybe the North Dakota State kid, or another kid like that. So I think that's their route is a bigger name and then a talented guy they can work with in the second round.
All right, that's it. So that's covering wide receivers. So what did they do with 28 then? What's the other position you feel like they would identify? Because I know we were talking the other day, and I forgot Rashawn Gary's come on. So you still got, even after losing Zadarius, you got Rashawn Gary and Preston Smith. Do you think they go interior defensive line, or they wouldn't do that?
I thought of either interior defensive line or a linebacker to play next to Devondre Campbell. I thought
that's not bad either. Yeah. Okay. See, that's not bad at all. All right. So Troy says Green Bay hates getting Rodgers weapons. Watch them take a guard out of spite. If they do that, it's just look, man. It's outstanding troll job. Kersey said defensive line for Green Bay there, because their O line's also not super bad. They got some people on it that's kind of old. None of my business there, but they're comfortable with them. I like the linebacker thing. I think that's actually interesting because they like Devondre Campbell changed their defense this year just by being good, because what they've had in there before was just trash. Like it was really the level of play before they got Devondre Campbell was less than. That's the nicest way I could say it. Less than. All right, we got KC. 29 and 30. They picked back to back. What are they on right now? Because I also feel like they don't have to go. They could go wide receiver if they want to. They don't have to. They can go corner. I feel like they could be one of the teams that go corner here. Got to remember, I don't think they expected to lose Tyreek. That's why I think they were comfortable with losing Trevarius Wheeler, and you ended up losing both of them. So, obviously you got a little bit more money left that you didn't expect to have now. However, 29 and 30 back-to-back. I also think they could go edge rusher. I think they could go edge rusher and DB and get a wide receiver later. That's me.
Could.
Or you can go wide receiver.
No, again, it's all based off the board. Like they're not in a position, like you said, where they have to reach for receiver. But if the names slide the way they could, the way it's drawn up, you can get one of the top 5 or 6 receivers in this draft. Then I think you do it. But reaching down for a second round guy now, I think would be a mistake for them. And then I think defensively, it's just adding good defensive players. Like I don't think there's any spot besides where Chris Jones is at.
Yeah, so anybody not named Chris Jones or Justin Reed, you select.
Right, and you're just adding talent to that defense because Spagnuolo's creative anyway. So it's not like you're putting guys in directly in one spot because you're not going to replace Matthew because that's just if teams do weird things, maybe they look at the kid from Baylor, Petrie. And see him as Honey Badger. I mean,
some people have mentioned it several times. That's something that Kirksey put in here a little bit while ago with CB/safety. Also mentioned CB or D line or outside linebacker. I think one of the things they did last year quietly, the last 2 drafts, was I think they got 2 good young backers in Bolton and Gay. So there's stuff there. It's just like you said, take whatever you want D line wise to go along with Chris Jones and company, or like you said, go get Petre. Try to do it because I guess they've soured on Thornhill a little bit, so I don't know what they're on right now. Not sure at all. But that said, last team in the first round to have the second pick is the Detroit Lions. So I want to ask y'all, what do you think the Lions do with the 32nd pick? We know they're picking high, but what do you guys think they do with the 32nd pick? Troy said, I want to see KC get another edge rusher / CB. Don't let Spags get Drake Jackson. Yeah, Drake Jackson out here just living his life. And that's the thing, like with this draft, Troy, like I know Jess and I have said several times, like I know like for teams that aren't looking for folks to be like the guy or the answer at positions, if you're looking for like guys with that could be the complement to one of those like all pro type guys, there's a ton of them, like 5-6 rounds deep. They're great compliments in here. And then you got some guys where the compliment with maybe a little room to grow. But yeah, there's not a bunch of that dude is like that dude's the answer. Like I think you got Stingley, maybe you got Sauce, and after that, you got guys that are really talented that could be, but aren't right now. Or like you got like an edge rusher. You got some guys people feel like they wanted that guy, and then you got some guys where it's like, yeah, they're what's it called? They might not be ready to go day one. However, let me bring them in, get them some seasoning, get them some coaching, get them ready to go. And then next thing you know, they're ready to go because they have a higher ceiling than some of the quote unquote higher guys. So it should be interesting. Kirksey said BPA. Yeah, I don't think the Lions could go wrong. BPA is always a good look for them. I don't get the weak draft BS. A lot of DBs and edge rushers out here. Yep. Maybe no short things, but a lot of talent. Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Like, I think people are, I think like, especially like some of the people on this side, like the media side, people are lazy, man. People love it when it's like, hey, this is A, B, C, D, E, and that's that. And then we can just talk about it over and over and over and not really question anything. When it's something like this was a little bit more work, a little bit more digging or whatever, I think a lot of people just slap a raw label on somebody and then keep it moving. Oh, they're raw. Are they raw or did you not really watch them? Like one of the guys, I give a great example, and I keep talking about him the entire time. The kid from Baylor that ran the 4.240, that was a legit 4.240, Tyquan Thornton. Look, man, I thought he was just a track dude, pulled up some clips, watched him, and I was like, hey, I don't understand. Because usually, for the most part, everybody dogs the guys where it's like, it's literally just a track guy that was gifted enough to play football. That dude's a football guy with track speed. So, meanwhile, nobody's talking about it. People are talking about, like, the Ohio State wide receivers and how fast they are and things of that nature. And I have nothing against those two. I do think they're good players. However, if I told you there's somebody who's built like them that plays at a 4.2, not ran a 4.2, but plays at a 4.2, has a nice release package, solid hands, wouldn't you think people would be talking more about him? Nah, he's labeled a track guy, and some people got him going, 4th, 5th, 6th round and some stuff like that. And I'm like, and that's the type of dudes that, a year or two later, someone came up because they got somebody like that. People are like, oh man, how did he slide or whatever? Look at free agency this past year, especially like the corner spot. Yeah, J.C. Jackson and Charvarius Ward get contracts. Both of them dudes was undrafted. And I'm really trying to figure out, like, wrapping my head around how you looked at either one of them dudes and was like undrafted, like they were they didn't have a grade, like for real. You didn't see any value in those two. Meanwhile, while everyone's burning through corners in this league, those dudes literally fit the quote unquote prototype of the position. I don't get it. Y'all say y'all want dudes with length that can run, long arms, yada yada yada, and it's like, oh well, the tape didn't show me exactly what I wanted to see, so he's just okay. How about, I don't know, man, like there's a part of it called coaching. Bring him in and see what it is, man. Like it literally makes no sense. Detroit might rock with Roger McCreary, let him in a coup to get these wide receivers. Yes, like that's the thing, man. Like you said, you got a coup to go get him a compliment. And this is the luxury. Good teams are about to come up so good in this draft. Like KC's about to tighten up like the perceived holes they've had because of this draft. Because what they did in the offseason at wide receiver, man, you don't have to find a savior at wideout. You know how you replace Tyreek Hill? You don't replace him. You don't replace him. You don't even spin you don't worry about it. You don't spin your wheels like, oh my gosh, let me go find another 5'10 dude that shifty and man, you let it be. You had Tyreek Hill. It was great. You did some great things together. Life goes on. What you can do is get more weapons for Patrick Mahomes, man. Like, you're gonna be okay. That's what you still have. You're gonna be all right. And that's that. Honestly, just find another piece. And if that piece turns out to be something great, so be it. Last time I checked, Tyreek Hill ain't go run. Wasn't a day 1 or day 2 pick. That was a day 3 pick. Some of the Steelers wide receivers, day 3 picks. It's about Emmanuel, AB, day 3 picks. So again, there's no need to go crazy about anything. All right, so that pretty much wraps up us talking about the first round tonight. And look, I'll be tuning in. Just I know I'll be tuning in. You guys be tuning in. So with Justin, and can't wait to get back to you guys tomorrow morning to talk about what goes down in round 1 because I'm sure it's gonna be nuts, man. I'm sure because this offseason, people have been acting a fool this whole offseason. A whole fool this whole offseason, man. People have been acting nuts. What's going on, Justin?
Sorry about that. I was talking, but I guess I wasn't on the screen.
Yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, I heard what you said. It was a good point. Was there's a difference between college production and projecting a player to the NFL. Those are 2 different things. And I think a lot of people get lost in these stats. It's this guy didn't have this many tackles, this guy didn't have this many sacks. But it's just like it's just like in some ways it's like basketball where I had a debate with someone the other day, and it's sometimes the play's set up for a certain person to get the shot. You know what I mean? And they get the points because they had the open look, and you give them credit for making the shot. But other people, there's someone that sets a screen, there's someone that dribbles above the court, there's someone that passes the ball, and we don't give the guys who who take on blocks, who cover the receivers. We don't give them the credit that we give the guy whose only job is to make the tackle, or the guy who gets the interception, or the guy who scores the touchdown. Like there's a lot involved that with evaluating players that we're so quick to be, we're so into fantasy football and that type of thing that we give these guys. We knock players who just did a great job at doing their assignment. Yep. And I think some NFL teams are seeing that, and that's why a lot of fans don't understand some of the picks that are made.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is think about that. If your assignment sound, they can trust that. Like one, it means your ego's in check because you can do more, but you're doing what you're asked and you're doing a great job at it. Like as corny as this, you're being a star in your role. And again, sometimes like on this side of it, fans or whatever, you don't think about what someone's being asked to do. Versus what you see them do. So then, a lot of folks on this side, on the media side, can be like, well, I didn't see him do this, this, and this. This means he can't do it. It doesn't mean that at all, sir. It means he either wasn't asked to or you haven't had the opportunity to see it. But that's why there's this thing called practice, this thing called doing research, this thing called asking people. But sometimes you guys know how team sports work. If you're the best person for a certain job, even if you're gifted at numerous other things, but you're the best person at the job of what your team needs, if you're willing to do it, you're gonna do it, man. Like it is what it is. No, we went off for a while today. We kind of went through the top 10 a little bit, even by accident just now. Talking about the teams that got 2 first round picks. So Justin, is on you. I know we're at an hour. Did you want to continue or you want to come back tomorrow and get just break down whatever happens?
We can come back tomorrow, but we want to throw out some names and some guys who might get picked in the first round that kind of aren't expected.
For sure. I got a quote real quick. Not a quote, a comment. I'm sorry. Michael Kirksey said a lot of trades to watch for sure. Too many quote unquote draft analysts from Troy looking at what a prospect can't do. What about what he can do? What about player development? Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. A lot of folks be like, oh man, this is all the stuff that these are flags that he. Okay, so that's cool. Say somebody, just player B, right? Or say we're talking. Say it's me or whatever, right? Draft prospect, whatever position it is. Say it's a corner or something, and they're like, all right, look, They don't play the what's it called? They don't have great size or length. All right, cool. Good quickness, whatever they're gonna say. They don't have great size or length. It's a shorter corner. You can only play inside. Yada, yada. That's that typical stupidity, right? And that's that. What they're not gonna say is great mirror skills, quick feet, good hands at the line, can press, and plays the ball well in the air. But if all I told you was the first four things, you're not gonna care about the rest of it. And a lot of it is what people lead with. And then it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know they. Right, it was there. What do you mean you didn't know? No, you saw it and was just like, well, this isn't like the guy that I've already championed. So it's a negative. Here's a, just red marker on it for no reason. Trey went on to say nobody wanted Orlando Brown Jr. Now he's an all-pro. Yeah, good show, fellas. Appreciate you. But go ahead, Justin, some names you want to put out that could sneak in, not surprise, but could be surprises in the first round, according to some people.
I think just some names that could go in the first round. Maybe I was thinking Kyler Gordon from Washington. He has some things to work on, but has all the tools, all the ability to play man. He's in college. He was as good as Trent McDuffie is, and he's getting top 15 love. Kyler Gordon was the one that played the one-on-one. Trent McDuffie got the help and played zone, and Kyler Gordon took all the tough matchups. And he killed the combine. So I think he's a guy that teams could fall in love with. Kind of like Caleb Farley last year. There were some things that he needed to work on, but you just couldn't turn away from that athletic abilities, the ability to get chase the receiver down and work his way back into the play. You got the two edge defenders. You got Arnold Ebiketie from Penn State. He has a weird combination of actually knowing what he's doing and being an athlete, which you would think teams would love. I don't really know what the issue is with him, maybe because he started at Temple. I don't know what it is, but he's productive and he has a plan. He knows how to use his hands. He has footwork. So he's the guy that I could see working his way into the first round. Maybe Boye Mafe from Minnesota.
For sure.
He's the guy that, teams love pass rushers, especially teams love pass rushers with tools. So, I mean, there might be some things where they didn't produce the way you want, but he has the ability, and you can see the flashes of him beating good offensive linemen. So those are two guys that I can see going there. Quay Walker from Georgia.
Yep.
Just the more I think as the draft goes on, there are teams. I know Dallas has a thing of they like to take the first player at a position. So sometimes as we get through some of these other positions, it's like, hey, we got a chance to pick the best linebacker on our board, whether it's him or Devin Lloyd or whatever. Teams are going to say, instead of taking the number 6 receiver, we want the number 1 guard. We want the number 1 linebacker. And it sounds dumb, but it does sound like something Jerry Jones would do. So, I mean, it makes sense. And he has the ability to be one of the better linebackers in the NFL. So you could reach and take a guy that might fit in, or you can go a little early and take a guy that can actually maybe be one of the better players in the league. I think Dean might slide. I think McDuffie might slide. I think there's a possibility Jaquan Brisker from Penn State could work his way into the first round because he does everything well. So I think as a team, it's not so much fit-based where he only does this. He only plays strong safety. But you have a guy who can play strong safety, play free safety, can do some nickel work if need be. I think that's a player that can work his way up. I don't know. I have no idea how to feel about the quarterbacks. So I'm not even going to pretend that I do. I think at least 2 go. I just don't know which 2.
And win.
And I think there's a possibility Breece Hall works his way in the first round because I think a team like the Bills are so targeted in on saying we don't have any weaknesses, but we need a running back. And just to take the wear and tear of you don't get in the playoffs and have your quarterback running that much. I think that's something that in the offseason they're like, we got to handle that. And for some reason they don't have the confidence in the 2 guys they have. So I can see them making a reach there. Just like last year, they lost to Kansas City because they couldn't get a pass rush, so they drafted 2 defensive ends. So I can see them.
Yep.
I can see them reaching their. I mean, maybe Christian Watson first round. Maybe he sneaks in. And again, it sucks for him because he's still a little raw, but he has all the talent, which would make a team reach. You just hope the team takes him and doesn't put him under the pressure of expecting him to replace to be a Devontae Adams, to be a Tyreek Hill or whoever the team that drafts him. But if you let the kid develop, he definitely has all the ability. to be a quality player. As a guard, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say Kirksey wanted to know who for Washington that could be a surprise selection for the Commanders, and then who's a surprise wide receiver. I think a surprise wide receiver in the first would be Christian Watson, and I think like Watson would be perfect for a place like KC where you don't need the guy to be anything. And something to keep in mind on again while we're going through this first round. Keep an eye on. You see what's like not to go too much into it, but like the Debo situation with wide receivers not picked in the first round. Some teams might take wide receivers in the first round tonight just so they got that fifth-year option.
Right.
Or might take certain positions so they have the fifth-year option. Because if this is happening for wide receivers, corners is sure to follow soon. Just something to keep in mind.
Right.
That like right now, because you don't know what the next couple positions are going to be, to cycle up and become, oh, it's our turn to get paid next. And then who wants to be that team that if you feel like you pick a guy who might be worth, something nice, and you don't have the extra year.
Right.
Just keep that in mind.
I think that could work in favor of a George Pickens. I think you have teams that Christian Watson would be good also because you get that extra year for development. He might be reaching his peak around year 3 or 4, and now it's time to pay him.
Yep.
Whereas opposed if you have that fifth year, I think that's a different way the teams might look at the draft instead of, we usually say that with quarterbacks, but with the way these receivers are starting to, demand their money, you lock them in and now you got them for at least 4 years, and now that fifth year, now you can fight with them or you can trade them or, whatever, just to avoid having to actually give them the, put your whole bankroll into him. What's weird about this position is like you figure a guy like Watson is getting hyped so much, while a guy like Pickens, who's a polished receiver, is getting knocked for whatever the reason is.
No, you're right. You're right. But yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I can't wait to talk about it tomorrow morning. And again, want to thank you guys for spending this morning with us. Hope to see you guys back tomorrow morning again. Probably start around the same time, sometime between 9:30 and 10 a.m. And again, thanks for tuning in the mornings with the focus. Gonna talk. Obviously, we're gonna have to recap our NBA playoff games tomorrow first thing, and after that, we're just gonna recap this draft, man. The first round. So recap the first round and see after the dust settles what the second round looks like, because Lord knows what's gonna happen tonight in the first round. So for Justin and myself, y'all have a great day, and we'll see you guys soon.